Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ashok Devanampriya. I am the CEO of Traders Gurukul and Stratazon. On behalf of Traders Gurukul, I'm extremely honored to welcome every one of you to Intrazon 2.0, India's largest retail traders online conference. Friends, it's a privilege to see thousands of people joining us every day. Today is the 11th day of the series with one more session to go. The whole reason of why people participating in such big numbers is that because it is themed on intraday, which is very interesting topic for all traders and investors. My sincere thanks to colleagues, management and leadership of Money Control Pro for joining us as a media partner and believing in Traders Gurukul and its ability to develop massive conferences of this scale for a wider group of traders and investors. Let me also take this opportunity to appreciate our title partner Espresso, one of the leading discount brokers in India, from the family of Sher Khan, who have close to 25 years experience in the Indian equity markets. The speaker for today is my friend Deepak Thakran. He's a trader by passion, a computer science engineer by qualification. So he has been trading for maybe 1 decade, Deepak.
Yes, Ashok.
Awesome. He follows simple trading methods with almost no indicators, and most of his systems are based on keen observation of the market. He only trades intraday and he doesn't take more than 2 trades a day. So that is the simplicity of his concepts. He waits like a hawk to grab his trade for the best successful win. So to his today's title is Index Triangles. So Deepak, my friend, on behalf of Gurukul, Money Control Pro and Espresso families, I extend my warm welcome to you into this program as a speaker. Go ahead and excite our audience with your interesting session. The stage is yours.
Thanks, Ashok, for the warm welcome. Hi, everyone. Good evening. This is Deepak Thakran, and today I'll be presenting my session on index triangles. So let's start with the topic. So my introduction is already given. And just to highlight something, it will be, I don't aim for big profits, but the focus is on, losing less. And then they say that the biggest risk is not taking any risk, but you don't take too much risk that you are not in the market next day. Also, my major focus around trading is to focus on the behavioral aspect of it. So you might have seen me tweeting that Nifty is the stronger index today, and you should be looking to do a long trade in Nifty only. If you're looking to do a short trade, then the Bank Nifty, which is weaker, is your choice of shorts. So this single thought is the key of today's presentation, and I'll walk you through how doing this helped me build this whole product, which is fully automated, and I'm using it doing index triangles. So this is one of the behavioral aspect that I have converted into a trade idea. Then all my systems which I run, all intraday system, all positional system, are usually or mostly derived from the practical aspects of how market behaves. They are not, they are not a product of following the traditional methods which are there in the books, that okay, there is a cup and handle breakout, or there is a rectangle breakout, or there is a something breakout or falling wedge breakdown. So I'm not focusing on those, but I'm simply focusing on the price action thing of market, and I'm deriving my trade strategies and everything from that. Okay, so moving on to next one, Ashok.
Thank you. So friends, the title partner, as you all know, is Espresso. They are the early adopters of online trading system in India. Their customers will have to pay brokerage only when there is profit during an intraday trading system. They never charge brokerage for transactions that are delivery based. This is an effort to find right value prop for their new generation of traders and investors. Thank you. Over to you, Deepak.
Thank you. So the presentation flow is going to be like this. I'll be explaining what is a short strangle, then the different variations of index triangle traded by traders, which you might have observed around you. Then I'll be explaining how my system is totally different from what you might have seen till now in Strangle. And I'll be focusing around what is strong, what is weak, and how we can compare or benefit from this simple terminology in intraday. Okay. Then we accidentally developed this strategy. Like I think most of the innovations in science also, they were not aimed at doing a particular discovery, but something accidentally happens and we can call it like that. So this one was also accidentally discovered. So I'll put a light on that also. Then I'll be showcasing the live statistics of it, also the backtesting, which was done prior to making this system live. So it is not something which is not in production. It is in production. I'm using it. I'll be showcasing the live statistics of the system after it has been, put in production. Also the backtesting results, which were there before it was in the production. Now let's understand what is a short strangle. So as you can see that in front of you, this image is there in which there is a payoff graph which is highlighting the break-even point for you. So in a short strangle, we basically sell a call and sell a put. Both the call and put strikes are different. So let's say we are talking about, for example, Nifty. So Nifty, let's say, is trading at 17,000. So we are selecting a call strike, let's say 17,200, and we are selecting a put strike, let's say 16,800, and we are selling 17,200 call, 16,800 put. So that selling of the both legs of call and put is called as short strangle, and the green area, or you can say that the profit zone for that is basically this, which is defined and which shows you the max profit is always in between the strike selected, and the strategies go into losses once the payoff starts to go below this level. So this is a limited profit strategy. Shorting a strangle is not a maximum profit strategy that, okay, like in trend following, that you buy a call of, let's say, 50 rupees, it goes to 500, you make a 450 rupee profit. But this is different. This is different than long option. This is a short strangle in which you define that market should remain in this range, and you, before taking the trade, know that this is the maximum profit that you can earn. So why people do this short strangle is the first question. Why not simply do a long option and make unlimited profits? So as we know that 95% of traders lose money. So the buying of option probably has not worked, right? And market is a game of probability, right? Being right that market is going to go up or market is going to go down requires some very special skills. And I can say that not everyone, neither me, has that skill, that we can predict that, okay, market is going to go up from this point and market is going to go down from this point. That is very difficult, but we can assume that market can remain in this wider range. So range, defining a range is quite not that difficult than defining the direction of market key. It is going to go up from here or it is going to go down from here, but it is relatively easy to define that, okay, market is expected to remain in this range. So trading a range increases the probability of your winning. So that is why short strangle is usually a better approach followed by most of the option writers. I mean, there are different types of option writers. One who do directional, this is a non-directional strategy. Basically, it is playing the range that if market goes up, the profit will be on the short put leg. If the market goes down, there will be profit in the short call leg, given that the whole equation will remain in profit till we are not going below this break-even point on downside or break-even point on the upside. If one is an active option writer and doing short strangles, then they usually manage by buying further calls outside of this zone, or buying the futures when this leg is taken out, or similarly buying puts or selling futures to manage the payoff. But in the strategy that we are going to discuss today, we are not going to discuss any of the adjustments, because our strategy has a different sort of edge. So that different edge itself is enough for it to make money over a longer period of time. So in this, okay, fine. Usually, when we talk about relative strength, so what is relative strength? So relative strength is, nothing, not nothing, but comparing one instrument with another instrument. So we might have heard about that story of tortoise and rabbit. So rabbit is relatively faster than tortoise, but in the end, the tortoise wins. So this strategy of writing options or writing the strangle is a tortoise strategy, in which the tortoise is expected to win, but the rabbit runs faster, which is naked buying or selling of call, naked buying of call option or naked buying of a put option. So that is rabbit, but the rabbit is not winning all the time. So that's there. Then coming to relative strength, what is relative strength? So in relative strength, we are comparing one instrument with another instrument. So relative strength can be calculated on different time frames and can be calculated from different starting points. So for example, let's say we talk about Nifty, that okay, from 23rd of October, the day Nifty made its top, and Bank Nifty also. So which index has fallen more from that point? So the index, let's taking Nifty or Bank Nifty, let's say Bank Nifty has fallen much more than Nifty. So what does that mean? That means Bank Nifty is a weaker index because it has fallen more, and Nifty is the stronger index relative to Bank Nifty because it has fallen less in terms of percentage. So what I did was I conveniently selected the highest point from where Nifty fell. So that is a starting point. What can be different starting points? We can usually take, okay, starting of the year, that 1st of January 2021 as taking a starting point, that what is the performance from that point, or we can select 1st of April, or we can select any location where major bottom has formed. So maybe let's take from demonetization lows or something like that. So different locations, and we can calculate the percentage change of a stock relative to that, and we can find out which is the relatively stronger one, which is the relatively weaker one. But we are not going to go into that far, or not taking that historic data for our strategy. Since we are talking about intraday, we will be focusing on intraday. So what happened yesterday stays yesterday. What happens today will be our focus area. So in this strategy, what we do is we focus on which is the relatively stronger index after opening. That means 9:15, when the first tick comes, the performance after that. So that will also exclude, it will exclude the gaps that, let's say sometimes Nifty opens 100 up and Bank Nifty also opens 100 up. So we'll not take that 100 as of anything, but we will observe how it trades after 9:15, after the opening tick. So that is the cause of concern, or that is the thing that we are going to observe. So if you are able to see this chart, this is denoting one starting point and different performances of different indexes, and different performance from Bank Nifty and Nifty over a period of time. So there is a certain gap. One is relatively stronger, other is relatively weaker. This is taking into account the percentage changes with same base. That okay, we started from 0 and or 100, and taking the performance as one is 102 or second is 98. So maybe one is relatively stronger, second is relatively weaker. So when we talk about relativity and relatively strong and weak, what can we think of? Like I started off that, okay, if Nifty is relatively stronger one, I am looking to buy into Nifty today. If Bank Nifty is weaker one and I have a view to sell in market, then I'll be selling Bank Nifty. So this is how it all started for me, that I was, it all started for me that, I used to tell people that, okay, when Nifty is the stronger index and Bank Nifty is the weaker index, then do not go long on Bank Nifty in the hope that Bank Nifty will catch up in the second half or something like that, because that is not what market is telling us. That is what you want market to do. Ki abhi Nifty has gone up, Bank Nifty will also go up. So that is not usually it works. We should be, if we are looking to buy, we should be going with the winner. We should be going with Nifty and not Bank Nifty. Now, this is a simple logic taken on intraday. If we, go back and relax and go to daily charts, if something like that happens on daily chart, will you do the same? No, because you get a lot of time to think about that. Okay, you can see easily on daily chart that, okay, one index is stronger and second is weaker. Why I'll waste my time to, buy the weaker? I'll be buying the stronger one. That is the perception on daily charts. But on intraday, the time to think is very less, and we get taken out, or I don't know what happens, but there is a hope that certainly develops that, okay, let's say for example Nifty is up 250 and Bank Nifty is up 150, then I don't know, as hope certainly goes up that, okay, Bank Nifty will blast in second half and it will go up 500 700, catch up rally will come up. But that's not usually the case, and many people are disappointed. So that was an example of relative strength, that when we can say that, okay, Nifty is weaker one or Bank Nifty is the stronger one. This is one in which we take percentage change. There are other ways in which we can define which index is strong and weak. So for example, let's say Nifty is trading above the day's VWAP, while Bank Nifty is trading below the day's VWAP. So that is another way to analyze. But in this one, we are analyzing it with respect to their own references. VWAP is a reference for Nifty. Similarly, VWAP is a reference for Bank Nifty, but they are their own references. So if Nifty is trading above its VWAP, that means it is trading strong. But at the same time, if Bank Nifty is trading below its VWAP, then we can say that, okay, yeah, Bank Nifty is not strong today. It is trading below its average price, right? So that is another parameter to do that. What is another one more parameter that I observe for this relativity is the number of times a index or a stock hits day high or day low. So that is also there. So let's say Nifty is making higher highs every hour, right? So every hour Nifty is hitting a new high, while Bank Nifty is not hitting new high. So that is another way to judge that, okay, yeah, Nifty is the stronger index, Bank Nifty is not. And on the way down also, it is true that let's say Bank Nifty is hitting